A touch of frost. Fallen leaves, adorn my night. Stabilize. Wind strike.
In this video, I won't be comparing damage between Crit Build and full Elemental Mastery build, because it depends. But I'll try to help you in deciding whether pure Elemental Mastery build is the right for free-to-play players like you. Normally, people would say that if you're going for a sub-DPS Kazuha, go Anemo Crit Build, and if support, go full Elemental Mastery build. This is somehow true. However, it still depends. Ideally, an Anemo Crit build with good artifact substats would deal more damage than a full Elemental Mastery build. However, a full Elemental Mastery build will deal more damage than an Anemo Crit build with bad substats. But the real question is, do you have good artifacts? If you're unlucky and you don't spend primogems on refills, farming for the artifacts with good substats will take you some time. If you think you can't reach more than 150% crit damage with decent crit rate and around 2000 attack and talent level 6, then just go for full Elemental Mastery build instead, even for a sub-DPS Kazuha. Full Elemental Mastery build has several benefits. 750 Elemental Mastery gives around 30% elemental damage bonus, saves you time, effort, and resin. No need for weeks of grinding for good substats, because all you have to do is max out your Elemental Mastery artifacts and you don't have to worry about attack, crit rate, and crit damage anymore, because Elemental Mastery does not care about your attack and crit. No need to farm talent materials for him in an Elemental Mastery build, because swirl damage does not scale on talents. No need to max weapon for base attack, unless you're using the Iron Sting for that extra Elemental Mastery. Since you don't have to invest too much, you're also saving a lot of Mora and other resources. The damage is the same no matter the level of the enemy. If you deal around 12,000 per swirl damage on a level 50 Ruin Guard, you will deal the same with a level 100 Ruin Guard. Swirl damage can also do melt and vaporize. When testing Elemental Mastery builds, make sure to have at least 2 enemies. Do not test it on bosses like Child, Pyro Boss, or the Valin. Damage tests on bosses are usually inaccurate since swirl is relatively weak in a single target situation. Best way to test this is with these 4 Ruin Guards in Guyon, Pale Flame Domain, Viridescent Domain, Spiral Abyss, and any other domains that don't have slimes. Kazuha's elemental skill can swirl twice per casting. As you can see, the first swirl, which deals around 6,420 swirl damage, twice on each enemy. And then, as it goes down, it does another 6,425 twice. So that's basically 25,700 damage on each Ruin Guard. Since I was using a sacrificial sword in this clip, I was able to double my skill cast, so that's 51,400 swirl damage, only with this skill. And we haven't even counted the Anemo damage and plunge damage yet. You can see that their health bar is already half. This is the weakest damage that you can go with pure Elemental Mastery build, because there's no other elemental reaction happening just yet. Here we have an enemy affected by cryo, and there's a source of pyro right there. Normally my swirl damage is 5,911, but in this clip we see 17,389 cryo damage to each one of them due to melt. Then we could still see several numbers of 5,911 pyro damage. We dealt around 32 damage on the way down alone, so a total of 45,000 damage in a single cast of his elemental skill. In a freeze comp, he can both swirl Hydro and Cryo on his way up, and shatter the frozen enemies on his way down. Since he has high elemental mastery already, the shatter damage caused by him will have bigger numbers. We dealt around 35,000 total damage in a single elemental skill. It is relatively lower than the damage of the melt comp, but at least it's a more consistent source of damage. For the 4-star weapon, the Iron Sting would deal the most damage in a pure elemental mastery build. However, if you have energy issues like I do, you can go with the Sacrificial or the Favonius. For artifacts, go with the Foresight Viridescent and everything should be elemental mastery. Here are some reasons why you should not run pure elemental mastery on a sub-DPS Kazuha. Again, Anemo Crit Build is ideally the better option because Kazuha has a really high scaling on his talents. However, if you can't get more than 150 crit damage, don't as an attack, don't bother building Anemo Crit Build at all.